it is time for the koala and the panda to battle against each other. It is time to bring out our teams of China and Australia. Come on out, guys. All right, here they are. The guys look ready. The audience is ready. These are the two loudest fan crowds, so I know I am so stoked to see how everybody's gonna cheer these boys on. But for now, let's cast it over to our casters, Wolf and Achilleo, to start the show.
Thank you very much, Mika. Guys, here we are. We're getting closer to the end of the day, but first we have this one final match, the decider match, we should say, for when it comes down to what teams are going to be going on to BlizzCon. China currently locked into BlizzCon. One of two teams already taken care of. Australia and Denmark still could qualify, and then from there we have to decide the seeding first and second place moving forward in Anaheim.
Well, if the Koala Bears can take just one map is all it's going to take to qualify them for BlizzCon and to eliminate Denmark from contention. If they're able to take the entirety of the series, they'll take first seed. So those are the three things that matters. China's seed, whether Australia, Denmark go in, and whether China takes, or rather, whether Australia takes first seed, or China. So this is the most important match remaining. Of course, second match is just going to finish out the group stage, but this is the one that decides everything. And Australia, thanks to the victory of Sweden, has
the absolute heroics.
That gives them such an easier run through this match, because originally, had Denmark won, they would have had to defeat Denmark's map score in this series, and now it's just one map that they require in order to take it. So very, very important change there. For China, this is all about winning that first seed, which is very important going into BlizzCon.
Yeah, and as you can see here, kicking us off for Control, it's going to be Nepal. So this kind of does cater to a plethora of different styles, whether you're going for the Winston, for the Orisa, for the Reinhardt. All of those things can be used, can be impactful as we get ready to start off here on Sanctum.
And it is going to be the starting lineup of China. We didn't mention it earlier. Leave and Shai in the on stage here, with the bench being held by Crystal at the moment. We may see a substitution later on at halftime, but it's generally been Leave and Shai to be the starting players, with Crystal subbing in later, again with some exceptions. And for Australia, you know, this is going to be a map where Plus is going to show his depth of his hero pool. Australia's been running a ton of Pharah, but in Sanctum, a little bit more difficult to pull off. You can use it to concussive blast, knock people into the pit, especially the setups like what China's going to be running here with the Orisa Junkrat. Well, it's easier said than done, and Shai's going to have a lot of protection with the Orisa barrier there to knock that Pharah out of the sky.
Yeah, we'll see if they want to go straight in for the point, or if they're going to play up onto the side. Mid-ground, off on the flank with the barrier. For now, Shai just going to be wrapping around, looking for someone to book their head out. Almost gets CKM there. Now, just going to be spotting out, trying to get as many tags in as he possibly can, build up towards that infra site, cutting around over to the right-hand side. Almost gets line onto a Kraken. And so far, being denied away.
Yeah, has not really been able to get line of sight of CKM because of the threat of the tanks committing to killing him there. So the point will be taken here first by China. They couldn't get any kills before that. They're going to have to commit to a fight now.
Yeah, just going to be handed over. Just a zipping back, trying to keep us topped up, but he also gets tagged. Has to be careful. Whereas Lee is just dumping these mines and these grenades all over the place and fishing for any sort of hits.
CKM may just have to swap off of this Pharah eventually if he just can't make a dent into this composition, which is the case right now. Late Young just going to set a D-Matrix up so they can reposition.
Swoop up into the sky, trying to get something. He's going to be taken down about half HP, now charging into the back, trying to isolate Drill, but Huss gets line of sight opened up, takes down Shai. Ushuaï also going to be falling to that bio nade, so this is going to be a nice opportunity for Australia to push in onto the point and gain control. About 35% at the moment here for China, so it would be a relatively fast flip for the Australian squad. Now they're going to have some ultimates built up as well to help this defense.
Yeah, it's going to be so much easier to use the Pharah now. I think it may have backfired for Late Young to have committed up, trying to draw the aggro of the Pharah away, D-Matrix there, so that the sniper Shai would be able to position better. So now they're going to have to approach the point against a Widow who has better line of sight and the Pharah, so difficult to do. And as you mentioned, the ults that were built, the Riptire nearly ready here, going to make it so difficult. Here's the Nano coming in first.
And jumping into the back, Primal going to get popped. They get the corner here onto Sky in the pocket. This doesn't have enough range on. Of course, he can't keep him sustained, nor going to keep alive the Widowmaker. Drill picks up a double kill. Gushwei goes down off screen, and China are going to have to regroup.
And now Leave, you know, he has the Riptire here, but it's taken him so long to build it. On the approach, the Riptire is always more difficult to utilize. That's why most of the time you see defensive Junkrat, not attack Junkrat across all maps. And, you know, even with lobbing grenades, it's very difficult. He's going to toss it out here to try to start this initiation. Very predictable, though.
Wrapping it around the back. That elevation.
Nice.
He's going to find Huss, takes him down.
Yeah, that's actually a nice pickoff there. That eliminates so much of the damage.
At least could force out the res from Custa. Not sure if he's going into position. Seems like he is still just going to be playing for the majority of the squad here. Still goes far forward. It's chunked out. Then he will stay alive. A shot. He's going to flip around to the side. Gets the shot onto Punk as he drops the bomb. No remake for him. And now it's going to be China pushing back, gaining control yet again.
You can see the impact it makes when the sniper is eliminated. It looks like Custa was, as you say, more focused on keeping the team alive. He popped the Valkyrie right when that happened. When you have that line of sight advantage and you don't have to worry about the enemy Widow, your tanks can be more aggressive and your Widow can get into a better position to then contest the Pharah. Huss will make the swap now over to Sombra as CKM will move to Genji. As they don't have a lot of time here and because they have that disadvantaged position in terms of line of sight, it's better for them to try to dive this more directly. Building an EMP is certainly feasible with 30% left to go here.
The Riptire now online here for Leave as he plays very far forward up towards this initial choke. Just going to go ahead, not waste too much time with this Riptire. Pulls it out. Gonna wrap it around. Sees a Winston. Will just go ahead and take down Trill. Knows that there's no way for a res to come through as Custa has swapped over onto that Zenyatta.
Yeah.
No worries about that. Just gets rid of him. Buys them more time as they approach 90%. Australia's going to have to get in onto this point.
And Huss hasn't been able to build any of his EMP, unfortunately. They've just been gate kept out here. That Riptire means Trill doesn't have a Primal, and he won't have a Primal for contest, so it's a really nice target.
Punk's already been knocked out of the Mega Kraken, going down. Shine finds the shot. The Baby Diva also going to be eliminated here. And Australia desperately tries to get a flip. Still building up for that EMP, but it looks like he's not going to be able to get that in time, if at all. As the members of Australia just drop around him. They will all go down, and China closes one out, 100-66 on Sanctum.
Yep. So very great start for them. Nice control of line of sight and Riptire usage there. Two major picks. The first onto Huss, of course, to eliminate line of sight for the Widow. The second there onto the Winston, guaranteeing that it would not have to deal with Primal Rage for the point contest. Knowing when he used it previously, at this level of play, you keep it in your mind where that Winston Primal Rage is, and he was at about 50%. Even if you're a little bit off in your calculations in your head, you're probably thinking somewhere between 30 and 70, right? We killed him. We're at 99% now. There's just no way they break through this choke without a bad fight, and that's what Australia unfortunately had to take. Compositionally, we're moving into Village now, obviously, so more GOAT style coming up from China. Australia already preemptively countering it once again with their Pharah that they love so much.
Yeah, not going to be seeing the Moira here. It's going to be the variation with Ana in the mix. The Bio Grenade really can help bump up those HP bars very rapidly, but Australia is still going to be trying their hand. That's this Winston Pharah composition. Junkrat in the mix. We'll see Huss be as impactful this time around.
Yeah, Ana can be so great against Pharah too, compared to a Moira. That extra damage, the sleep dart potential to shut down barrages. Try taking the brunt of this damage. Gonna have to rotate back behind Gushwei now.
I mean, no one's dying, but they are getting a lot of charge over to CKM, so if he can set him up properly with that barrage, it can be huge. And now, already Lucio gonna be eliminated here. Huss finds that opening shot, but Young going low, loses out on the mech. The tire comes in, finishes off the Baby Diva, and now that's gonna be the go button here for Australia as they spill forth into the point. Barrage comes down. They'll get rid of him. The team wipe comes through. Quick flip here for Australia.
Two-pronged ultimates. You know, you have the threat of the tire and the grenades coming from one side. You have the rockets and the barrage coming from the other. There's only so much you could do as a Reinhardt in moments like this. China, after losing the point, knowing approaching versus a Pharah is virtually impossible, they're going to try to counter, moving over to the Winston, and they have the McCree to knock CKM out of the sky, so he's going to have to play a little bit more passively. He's going to look for the counter rockets here, already predicting where he would approach the flank. Smart play here by CKM.
Right now the points being given up for free. They finally go over to contest this one. CKM going aggressive over to the side, trying to get some hits there onto Leaf, get rid of that McCree. be unable to do so for now, but he's still playing around the sidelines, self-protected. Takes a tag, drops down to the low ground, goes slow. In the meantime, back on the point. It's going to be a nano boost on in onto Punk as Young gets popped out of his mech again. CKM comes up with the kill off screen onto Shy. Dash forward, just trying to finish off that Baby Diva, but Young is just spamming away. Punk's just going to dump the ultimate so he can make it back into the mech. Now sound barrier out from China, trying to continue this fight, trying to get this flip guaranteed. Deadeye is set to go, can help try to zone them off the point as the bubble from Troll has already been used. Meanwhile, he's wreaking havoc in the back lines with his primal rage. Flashbang comes in, almost goes down, but the pocket is there and Costa keeps him up.
And this just forces Leave off of the point as well. He has to back off to peel for his teammates. He's got tons of burst, but CKM predicting so correctly where Eviltal and Leave would rotate around, did so much damage, really limited what McCree is able to do here. Now Huss has this EMP ready. Australia has all the tools here in their war chest to shut down a push. They're taking a two-pronged approach now, but again, it's predictable. Leave, Huss knows exactly where he's going to be. He's looking for the Zen now.
Okay, but that's going to be the rally thrown down by Shy, but Sky was nowhere nearby, so they didn't get the armor onto the Zenyatta, which makes him that much easier of a target for Huss. The EMP comes down, the shields go away, and he just melts. Really weird communication and play by China there with that rally call, not using it in the fight where everyone could benefit. Now CKM here with the barrage, throws that one down, picks up two, the Baby Diva and Shy, both going to be falling. 85% for Australia as they try to get control back. Swing, he gets slapped up, pops up into the air, comes back down, already at half, has that primal rage. See if he wants to use it to try to delay. Answer is going to be yes. Sky rejoins, has that Transcendence up. A Kraken and Huss both going to be going down. Two members on the side of Australia falling to the wayside as China tries to gain control, tries to maintain it rather, and gain the advantage. But Drill is trying to turn their luck around. Comes in, gets rid of Leave. Sky going to be eliminated. The bomb coming down from Punk, not going to find a kill, but will knock Young out of the mech. And Drill is there to go ahead and pick up the actual blow onto that Baby Diva, taking him out. China suffering heavy losses. Australia get the foot, now they're at 90%.
Yeah, they're looking fantastic here. They just know that China is running this split with Leave moving over with the supports to try to flank and do that extra damage. They've shut it down every time. All they have to do is win one more fight, and it looks like they will do just that.
Yeah, going in deep. That's just going to be so many members. 3 already dead. Trill hopping out as he falls down to about half. Going to be rejoining with his squad. Will get taken out by Sky, but China very much hurt here, wounded, as Australia sees that OT bar tick away. Shy tries to get one last tag in, but he's not going to have it.
Australia, and particularly CKM and Huss, know that in order to get value out of this McCree pick, you cannot just run McCree in with your tanks at the front door. If you do that, you're basically giving extra free damage to the Pharah. You're basically saying, okay, well, we're going to be damaging your tanks and building barrage while also limiting what McCree can do, because you can't really hide back there, so you have to flank. They had that in mind, and twice they were able to shut him down. The first time CKM just putting body rockets on him so he couldn't get into the position. Second time they committed the EMP, killed the Zenyatta immediately while doing so, and that meant that Leave was left out to dry. They killed Sky so many times that Discord Orbs were readily not available for Leave, meaning he couldn't pick off Trill when he was primaling. That's the burst they're looking for, not just to knock the Pharah out of the sky, but to help deal with Trill. Now they're going to try to run it again here with Brigitte for some counter dive, and also can be quite great against annoying Sombras in the back line. But once again, they're going to have to get him into position. This is a better map for him, rotating with the tanks though, as opposed to flanking, which failed for him on Village.
Rockets coming down, CKM trying to build up. The barrages so far have been quite good from him. No layering in a lot of damage. No kills to be found on either side yet. Jump in over onto the left-hand flank here from Trill, leading the charge. Falls low. Will get taken out. Leave. Finds that shot. Sort of the enemy Winston, and now the point going to be locked in for China to kick things off. A good look for them as they look to go ahead, get that 2-1 victory. Costa, oh, goes so low, and he manages to make it out with his life. But as I say that, the caster curse rings true. Young
chased him down. Yep. But this is what you and I like to call from Contenders Korea, the protect the McCree comp, where you have this massive burst glass cannon hero that does tons of damage if protected correctly, has Discord Orbs to make sure heroes like Winston, like Diva, cannot approach and dive him because they will simply die in the process. Huss going to swap over this, this Widowmaker now to try to basically instantly kill him, or at least wear the tanks down that are protecting him, but no dice so far. He's actually flanking.
Yeah,
he's got a Deadeye.
He is very sneaky, has the Deadeye, gets the right click in, off the back of the flashbang, and the Kraken will fall.
Look at that
Australia,
burst.
nothing they could have done to save his life, but CKM also going to go down. Costa, Trill, need I name more, all going to be falling. China is already over 50%.
You just don't expect the flanking McCree. He has the armor from the previous rally now, but He had the burst armor from Shy when he was going for the flank. Trill dove in, but you can see Trill's health went from 100 to 20 so quickly with the Discord orb on him, and Leave is just doing so well at shutting down this tank up. Now they have basically the big 6. Sure, Shy doesn't have a rally, but he's already used one. The rally armor is still there, so you can think of this as 6 ultimates.
And one of the reasons that Leave can actually get away with sneaking around like that is because it is to protect the McCree. As I say that, double dead eye kill coming through. It's to protect the McCree, so they expect him to be playing with the majority of the squad on the point.
And they didn't have vision.
It doesn't really occur to you, what if he's flanking us right now?
That's right, they didn't have vision either. And, you know, now he gets this Deadeye kill as Australia's forced to try to do damage. They're forced to try to go up into the high ground, but he's got the Deadeye ready. One ultimate used. They still hold the other 4. How could Australia hope to break through? It's going to have to be on the back of a Primal Rage. There's no nano boost.
It's going to have to be on the back of some insane mechanics here. Punk leads the charge, loses the mech, going to have to dump that self-destruct just to try to make it back in. He will be able to do so successfully. Now it's going to be the Primal Rage out. Lead, however, has already gotten rid of one threat. Cuts is going to be eliminated. Into the back goes Gooshway. Has Custa completely locked in the room. Will be able to take him out. Follows up for the other supporter. Kraken going to be going down. And he is not done yet. Just chases deep. Gets absolutely everybody. This guy has been on fire all weekend long. And at least for now here, with Nepal going the way of Australia, they are not locked into BlizzCon. Denmark maintain their hopes.
Denmark 1 for 4 in terms of BlizzCon implications here outside of this series. But China just showing a clinic on how to run McCree on especially that final map there, because you can flank when you know how they're operating around the far. You know how they want to dive and get those follow-up kills with the Winston. Because usually what you do is you chip someone down to say 40 to 60% health. That's when you feel like you're in the kill range where you toss the Winston in and you commit to the fight. Yeah. Barrage notwithstanding. So in those moments, McCree flashbangs the Winston. Then you have the Brigida stun onto the Winston. There's a Discord orb on that Winston, so Primal Rage or no, he just doesn't last very long.
Make a checklist here to figure out all of the things.
I mean,
all of the conditions.
When you start to get frustrated too and you're not maintaining vision, that's when Leaf's going to sneak up on you and get you. They were able to track him very well on Village. They knew exactly how he was going to try to flank and they shut him down. But this time, it worked out way better because they were so focused, almost tunnel visioned on getting onto that point, getting those follow-up kills after the rockets came through.
Well, that's 1 in the bag for China. 2 more to secure the victory. 3 more if they want to knock Australia out of BlizzCon and just hand that one over to Denmark on a silver platter. I think they'd be very grateful if that were to happen. But let me pitch you the storyline, Wolf.
All right.
We got several more maps to go. It's Game 4, Escort. Australia hasn't picked up anything yet. They need 1 win to qualify. It's their map choice for Escort.
Junkertown. It could happen.
You know?
It certainly could happen.
If they don't pick up anything until the final map, it is 100% going to be a Junkertown pick. Wow. And if they lose on that, then, I guess, BlizzCon's just done.
They could also
don't get to go there.
They could also feel more comfortable with Rialto and take us to Rialto because they're trying to go to BlizzCon.
would love that so much.
He certainly would.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, obviously, here, talking about Escort. But first, we have to worry about Hybrid. Going to be the map selection here for the Aussie squad. Where do we think that they are going to go? We know that they like to run the Pharah quite a lot for CKM, but he can also operate on things such as the Genji.
So my guess is that, we just got actually the confirmation. It will be King's Row. I was going to say it's probably going to be King's Row.
I was looking at you.
Or the Numbani pick, because Numbani Pharah can be quite strong there. Hollywood, totally not viable, because if you try to run the Pharah there, you're going to have problems with Widowmaker. And I don't think that Australia is very comfortable countering that, although we know Huss is a very good Widowmaker player. It gets a little bit uncomfortable, I think, when you're trying to utilize too many different compositions for a map. Australia has been, in my opinion, a team that's shown us the most versatile strategies throughout the entirety of this 3-day group stage, be it really nice focus fire early game on Lijiang, what they tried to do there on Nepal, for example, some of their dive strategies. Huss has coordinated Zenyatta backline dives with Trill. Everything they've done has been really well planned out from the start, I feel like. So whatever map they, were thinking about taking us to before, I knew they were going to have a specific plan. King's Row is one of those maps where you just feel like, I think I might be able to just be better than this team. I think I can outplay them. Or you think you might be able to counter their GOATS comp, because that's what you would expect to see from China on this map.
Yeah, I mean, we already saw a little bit of it, and they did well against the Goats comp at the start of Village, where they were able to shut them down, and then we had to see the swap come through from China. So maybe that's going to be the game plan. Try to just bake them in, say, like, yes, of course, run this composition, do the 3-3 that everyone loves to do on this map, and then just try to crush them with the Pharah, maybe even throw a, something like a Junkrat into the mix, try to get a pick off. But time will tell. We'll see how that is going to play out. Apparently, we had the Kings Row confirmation.
Yeah,
said.
yeah. Kings Row is confirmed.
I didn't get to see it. I was looking at your beautiful face, so I didn't see that one pop up on the screen. But Kings Row, it shall be.
Yeah, it's Kings Row. For those just tuning in, it is China leading with a 1-0. The final implications here are that if China gets a 4-0, Denmark goes through. Australia needs one win. Winner of this series, if it is China, is first place seed. If Australia gets the win, then they will, of course, take first seed as well.
Yep. Denmark, though, sitting in the back room watching this series, the biggest Chinese fans, even bigger fans of China than the ones that flew all the way from China to,
At the moment, I think
watch
so.
the players. They really got their fingers crossed. There we go. So now I can see it myself. Kings Row going to be locked in on hybrid. China, do they move up 2-0? Do they get that match point coming through? Try to get that first seed on lock, or can Australia, with their map pick, bounce back and lock in BlizzCon?
That is the big question here as we head into this one. Australia's had a great diversity of strategies, like I've mentioned before, and they will defend first. China choosing the attack first here. So they're looking to show us the very similar style they've shown and had the great success with in this group stage on Anubis, with the Orisa Junkrat, the Ana with Zenyatta, very powerful pairing between Zenyatta and Widowmaker, because you can burst down tanks to try to approach. China, we'll see in just a moment as the point unlocks what they want to run on the attack, but they're going to be the squad that is going to have to respond to what Australia does. So we may just see Late Young and Shy get that information here, swap over to Goats, try to sneak around the point, get on top of that Orisa, knock her down, or it may just be they run Pharah. The other option here is the the Wrecking Ball, which can disrupt these types of setups, but let's see what they choose after they've seen what Australia is running.
Oh! All right.
Gushue, he's not a Pharah player.
Yeah,
so they're probably wondering what's going on, but we got the kill,
He's usually playing something with a little bit more HP
than
a Pharah, such as a Winston. So there we go. This is a bit more standard from him. But okay, triple tank on the push with Shy over onto the Tracer. Widowmaker gonna have a very hard time getting through these HP bars, but as I say that, he has it prepped, he gets the shot, and Leva's gonna go down. Huss still gonna get jumped on, so he's in the poison trap, bio grenade helping to keep him alive, and CKM has the remote mine there to go ahead and take down Gushue.
And people usually think about triple tank as a very tanky, sustainable, slow-moving comp. This is triple tank dive, so it's pick-based, you go up onto the high ground, you get a kill with it. Because now that Wrecking Ball is in the game, you have 3 tanks that have mobility options that can get onto a high ground, whereas Roadhog, Orisa, Reinhardt cannot. Here's the Wrecking Ball jumping up.
That one again, gets bolted in actually for the pull, and Huss again just finds the shot, getting rid of the hamster.
Yeah, when that first tank goes down, the push is over. They get a tick though.
Oh, yep, Riptire gonna be coming through. Gushue getting chunked out, but had that Primal Rage jump, so he does survive. But same cannot be said for Shy or Lei Young as they both fall. Punk, dangerously low, 39 HP, gonna be wrapping around, trying to keep himself safe. Now we'll have the healing coming through, so he'll be fine. In all of the chaos, China has picked up a single tick on the point, but this is still looking like a very strong defense from Australia.
I like that they're able to sneak that through, but they're gonna run this once again. Gushue actually used the Primal. It's not gonna swap heroes. Once you get Pile Driver, you get on high ground. Australia has reposition though. It's gonna force them to drop down and move around the right side here. If they can grab the kill onto CKM, that would be massive, but it's easier said than done with all this protection.
This is really good for China because they're forcing Australia out of cover.
Yes.
To the best of their ability. If they can get them completely out in the open, that's going to be huge for them. Oh, a crack, and he's going to go low and leave. Has to follow up on the Pile Driver to go ahead and get that killing blow stick coming through. That's going to be Phil going down, but Huss is trying to pick up the pieces. Runs one onto the Lucio.
Gets a
It's
second.
going to be Late Young going down. Another shot comes in, gets Gushue in the mid-air. Lead picks up CKM, now going to be looking for Huss. Dropping his way back in, grapple to the side, grapple hooks all over the place, but Huss will survive and Australia maintains control.
Huss, this is not the first time he has done this here in Bangkok, and I don't think it'll be the last. Leave taking so much damage on the approach.
Yeah, hasn't popped that adaptive shield yet. Now it's going to be Huss getting taken down off the bat. Supercharger thrown in. Late Young just focus firing that one. gets the heck out of there, manages to stay alive. He's gonna fall to the bio nade. Gushue falling low. Riptire could go ahead and finish him off, and it's gonna get 2 of them! Takes the Lucio down with him! Shy, dipping and dodging around the backhand side. He's gonna get some rockets to the back of the head. Will get taken out in Australia. Can they do this? 1 minute and 5 remaining. China getting ready to be full health. They have so many ultimates in the war chest, however, but Australia looking on fire.
So much of this has been a Kraken who's been pocketing Huss, keeping him alive when he's low. Huss is just doing the work, hitting the headshots, but the Kraken is allowing this to happen. He got that sleep on a Gushue earlier. The guy is empowering him right now. This is really one of China's last chances here.
Costa almost gets popped, but Shy goes out with a recall. The bomb comes out late. Young manages to buy in 1. Low bomb from CKM takes down Gushue. Punk gonna be taken out.
Can't deep remag.
Drill is falling dangerously low. Now he's gonna be dead. There's no tank, no enemy tracer. China are gonna go ahead and get this cap, but a significant drain to this time bank here at the hands of this Australian defense.
Yeah, very well done by China. This is the corralling, as I like to call it. Everyone got sucked into that choke just to the right of the phone booth there. And Fire Rocks are going to do a lot of damage when they're hitting everybody, getting those denials there. For example, preventing Punk to remake after the self-destruct, preventing anyone else from exiting that area, further just making sure that China had positional advantage. And they do so without using Gushue's Primal Rage, so very nice here for China, despite, as you mentioned, the lack of a time bank. But they're definitely still in this one. The barrage could be used if they can, you know, force Punk once again out of that mech. Otherwise, he's going to be holding this one for a little while.
Poking out here for now. Trying to weaken Punk as much as he can. Transcendence now going to be coming out of Costa, keeping everybody alive as they take the fight over to the cart. The Kraken cannot get there in time to stay in the mix. Both Anna's going to be eliminated. CKM tries to stay alive, but it's not going to happen. Also not going to be building up very rapidly for that Dragon Blade. 34% for him. See how he manages as time goes on, but this is just going to be cleanup duty here for China. As they go ahead and finish off these remaining members. Huss going to jump back right at the last second, try to keep himself alive.
They followed him, though.
Keep moving forward. They spotted him out. Not as sneaky as he would have liked. Will be eliminated.
Yep, just really nice tracking there of his positioning by China. Probably just saw the translocator and then just chased him out there. He has the EMP nearly ready, and it is going to be ready for contest, which is absolutely massive, especially when you consider that China doesn't have a counter support ultimate for the EMP. But they need to make sure they are forced to use it in a bad fight when that barrage comes down. I love the flank setup here. They're going to look for the back line.
And push around the side, and the hack going to be coming down. Shy just getting swung on there by CKM, who has swapped over onto the Brigida. Managed to take him out. Falling as well. Australia can push forward to gain some control over the cart.
Fairly expensive there with the 2 ultimates used, the Nano and the EMP, but I think it's worth it when you know China's got this weak of a time bank. You prevent the Primal Rage and that advantage that China has for contest.
Yeah, you want to drain as much as possible.
Yeah.
But also 2 of the fastest building ultimates that they have for their team as well. So
now just kind of using Punk to absorb these rockets as they get a move forward.
Steve going to drop the barrage. He's pretty far away. Punk trying to deny that out, but said we'll just get popped out. Shy is there to scoop the kill. Onto the pilot form, Kiba. Takes him out. Australia, and they reapproach this. They still have that Primal Rage sitting on Drill. He's going to go low, pops it right at the last second as he's up in the air. Self-destruct out from
No
late
one's on
Young.
the
Not going
card.
to find anything. Costa will get eliminated, now leave. Finds another one as Huss and CKM all fall. It's really just Drill versus the world at the moment. The Primal Rage will expire. The bubble will shatter. He's going to die, and that's going to be a point B push here for China.
And China, especially Leaf, just found all the holes in Australia's setup there, and it spilled through like water. He knew that Punk had his defense matrix on cooldown after aggressively coming forward to contest the cart, so knew that when the barrage came down, even straight into a D.Va, he'd get the D-Mech. Then he was able to find those rockets there after Trill dove forward. There was no bubble, there was no protection. Just doing massive damage. Now it's going to switch over to Brigida, and probably after a Prima, we'll see that Reinhardt Zarya coming through from China to try to end this map. Things are looking pretty dire for Australia all of a sudden.
Bomb into the back, not going to find the pick off there on a Shy. Grapple over to the side, and Husk is half to death here. This way plays very far forward. Transcendence out from Costa, trying to keep everybody topped up. Kraken's going to go low. Throws out the nano boost. Who's going to be on? Looks like it's going to be Drill. Now has that primal, and he's going to pop it. Get the core in onto Sky. Able to burn down that Ana. Rejoining over onto the cart. Going to keep this one in contention. Both tanks collapsing. They managed to take down Shy. Australia stabilizing here for the moment. As China has 41 seconds remaining on the clock.
See if Gouche switches over to the Reinhardt here. There's not a lot of time. He's definitely not going to be able to build a Shatter, so maybe the speed of Winston is going to be what he prefers. But because he used the Primal Rage, sustainability is not really an option. All they're going to have is the armor coming through from the rally, which I think Lieb has to use mid-fight here. He can't pre-rally in this situation. And Husk could just shut it all down with a single well-placed EMP. Good position here. Hidden, detected for a moment.
Yeah, that's going to be the Ember sight coming through. So they know exactly where he's at. He's going to jump back, wait for it to expire, and then try to get the setup. 3 seconds remaining.
Okay, here it comes.
Huss is going to get eliminated. But EMP not going to get anything. But that is just going to be it. They time out. They just...
I'm pretty sure that they were just off of the cart, in fact, as the EMP came through.
Yeah.
And there was a heavy dive, so they were not tagging it.
What's that called again? A D11, Wolf?
Yeah, D11, maybe it's D10. I'm not entirely sure if that's a tax form or if that's the technical term we have for this in Overwatch.
Okay.
Well, we'll take a look at some of this incredible accuracy here on the point A defense, which did, in fact, buy a lot of time. But yeah, they were not on the cart. They stepped off during that fight, and the EMP was solid there from Huss. And even though he died, the amount of resources he drew, and let's be real, a small mistake from China in terms of awareness on who was standing on the cart will cost them that final push.
I mean, that could cost them the map potentially. And that could be Australia punching their ticket to BlizzCon.
That's right. I mean,
off of a botch.
They have a completion on Kings Row. That's all they need right now. And it's not even their last opportunity, but
sure,
it's the closest they've been since Nepal. So as you can see here, the cart did not complete and was just simply China stepping off.
I'd like to think that we were going to have a replay of that, but it would be too much of rubbing it in their faces. So we just decided to show that Huss is pretty good at Widowmaker instead.
Yeah. And, you know, the reality of the situation is that sometimes in chaotic moments like this, especially when an EMP goes down.
I mean, your communication's all over the place.
Yeah. And Lucio's trying to hide because he wants to keep his, you know, for example, Lucio, who's often on the cart, is trying to hide to get a barrier up because the EMP is coming. So he's not on the cart. You think he's on the cart because you always have that in your mind, like our supports or our diva are on the cart to make sure that we have this. So yeah, these things do happen. Australia looking to run the same dive they've run on this map and Anubis for point A, which is Huss and CKM running the Sombra Genji. Really good coordination thus far with Huss and Trill to kill the backline. No Zenyatta in this composition, obviously, but Ana, Sky in this case, will have to be careful. Shy as well. Prime target if they find him, and they do.
Sneaking around. Dropping down, wrapping around the backhand side. CKM as well. Spotting out, poking his head to the other side of the Alderworth. Up onto the high ground, Trill. Keeping it really up in the air here as far as what the game plan is for Australia and when that go button is going to be pressed.
Huss is just one of the greatest cases for reworked Sombra, man. He's just like, you never know where he is. Look at where he is right now. He's so far away.
Okay, seems like China getting a little impatient. They push forward over to the choke. Now Punk is going to be isolated. Sleep Dart comes down. He'll be able to lock him up, get the elimination. A good start to this defense, but Shy gets stomped out off screen.
Yep. They're just coordinating with Huss and CKM to kill these backline heroes, but unfortunately in this case it just gives them ult charge, not really anything else too significant. They have the faster respawns, however. It's going to take some time to try to get back. In fact, he's switching to Tracer. He's not here.
Yeah, he's just trying to get back here as quickly as he possibly can at Kraken. Late young, but Trill will get taken out. Right clicks coming through. CKM just going to dash in. Nearly has that blade online. Costa now going to get picked. So this is just going to be delaying Australia even more.
Yeah, just getting punished for that aggressive dive with the backline having no support, no peel, I should say. Trying just doing so much damage. Australia will have to reset. And Huss has taken a little bit longer because he's been playing very, very sneaky to get that EMP this game. ZKM will have the Nano Blade ready, but they have this answer in the Brigida. They have Sky, who, look at Sky's position all the way back in that doorway. He can't sleep dart. There's a lot of ways to shut this down, but Australia is going all in. This Blade is everything for the push.
Yep, and we have that grab. That's going to be the Nano coming in. The Blade's going to be pulled out. They're trying to focus him down. He's going to dash into the back. Deflection coming through. Hasn't got any kills. Will get moved back. In the meantime, Trill picks up a double kill. Leave and Late Young both going to be going down. Which way rejoining?
No
Shatter in the inventory. Does get rid of the Genji here, because it's just going to be swapping over to the Lucio. Trying to make it back here very quickly. EMP comes down from Huss, denying any possibility of that Shatter for the moment. And they should just be able to finish up this Ryan. They're trying to spam him out. He's actually going to be staying alive.
Goose is such a god. He was hacked that entire time. He lived by walking around the corner, no barrier, no charge. He lives on his own. As soon as he's unhacked, he gets the barrier up in the last second, gets that bio grenade from Sky. That is incredible Reinhardt play. I cannot believe he lived through everything that just happened by simply walking while hacked.
That's great backup coming through from Sky, especially with the range support spamming out those heals onto him. It's going to be the swap over on to the Farah here from CKM yet again. Graviton Surge going to be set and ready to go. Pin this one into the wall. Costa getting jumped on by Shy in the meantime. Drill's still going to be locked up. Has not fallen yet. Jumps straight up, just trying to buy some more time. CKM comes in, manages to find one onto the Lucio. Kraken going to be traded out. But now no Ryan, now no Tracer here for China. As Australia is in onto the point, taking this one up, looking for the cap. And it seems like China will just allow this to happen. 3 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. Australia still have to make it to the streets phase.
They certainly do. Huss has been doing so much damage this game. And it's not just in terms of his left clicks, but his ability to shut down these tanks, hack them, EMP them, and cause all this disruption on these very complex setups that China's trying to run. Shy's going to go to the McCree, so not leave this time. We saw playing hit scan earlier on the Paul. So let's see how this works out, as Leave's going to be dealing with Huss a little bit here, giving that burst armor to Shy on the Brigida. As you can see, CKM, he's got this aerial view right now. He's just trying to track where McCree is so he knows where to avoid line of sight to get those free pop shots. That wasn't ideal, but he is able to get away.
Us trying to be sneaky. He found it out. Leave is able to take him down. Barrage now online for CKM. He's getting tagged up, so he can't really get into a prime position for that. And would probably like to wait for that EMP. But this is going to be the go button here for China as they shove forward. Get the break onto Punk's mech. Quite catch how much ult charge, 51%, so he's going to be very grateful that they finished him off and didn't force him to swap out.
And this is one of those moments where the EMP is not ready because of that kill from Leave while Huss was harassing to build it. He's back to the cart at the moment, though. China's going to have to get back here. The spawn camping, but Huss is getting free push.
Okay, they finally figured this one out. Sky checks it out.
Now let's
get a little bit of cheeky
back.
Distance here. They look for the hack and Monolith Young. He's going to get popped out of that mech and finished off.
I think this is way worth it for Australia, though. China definitely overextended here.
Shy finds two. Custa and CKM both getting taken down. Still now going to get stunned up. Finds one on the lead. Shui going to get slept way in the back. Kill that eye comes through. They'll be able to burn him down, but now they have to make it over to the carts. A minute and 35 remaining on the clock. Still have to make it to B, and then have to go through the final stages. This Foundry to try to make it just shy of C to get that win and confirm BlizzCon.
I think that had Punk been pushing the cart throughout that entire re-kill, it would have been way better for Australia, but they've got this EMP ready now. Gonna drop it from the high ground.
Throws it down, catches so many members of China. Still not coming through yet, but the cart's still rolling forward. Now gonna be halted 2 meters away, and Shy opens things up, finds a kill onto a Kraken, but Punk is feeling pretty vengeful as he goes ahead and takes down that McCree. Custa now gonna be dead right as the red comes out. Drill gonna be taken out. Barrage comes in from CKM, manages to find the Winstons in exchange on those. They still have not gotten the cart into B. The rollback now coming through. China maintains control.
China just keeps trading up. They have the faster respawns here. The Resident Eye failed, but they still get the kill onto Custa. Every kill means so much when, as Australia, you have to walk all the way to the contestation point, whereas China comes directly out of that spawn. So much advantageous is trading, say a 1-for-1 or a 2-for-2, is China versus Australia taking similar trades. And it's difficult to use this far now against the McCree. It's tough to get line of sight, not to mention there are buildings in the way. But if you show yourself, you're going to get knocked out of the sky. They have to push now, and the EMP's already been used. Look at how much burst there is in a McCree.
I mean, he's already got another Deadeye ready to go. CKM taking that tag. He's going to be handing it over to him. 100%. Shots coming through, and he just takes him right out of the sky. Now you have to pick if you're Custa, which one do you want to res? Your other healer, your Winston, or your Farah? The answer is going to be the Ana, but the damage is done because Custa's now dead. A Kraken going to fall, and China look to deny away yet again from Australia. That confirmation, that ticket to BlizzCon, as they hold this cart just in front of B. Punk comes back in, but he is just going to get chewed right out of that mech, taken down as they look for the 2-0.
It's gonna be it. They're pushed off. Overtime will tick down. Trill blocked away, and China is halfway to guaranteeing BlizzCon's spot. And for Australia, they're half dead in the water with this. After one map, no one's concerned. After 2 maps, though, especially a hold like this one in Streets phase, which is so rare, you're starting to feel a little bit more panic. The McCree play from Shy was so good, and it's crazy. We have to talk about the fact that he wasn't the player playing it early. They have 2 McCree players on their roster, and that's because McCree has always been a staple of the Chinese region. In APAC, in contenders, China, McCree has always been meta from the beginning of time. McCree is recently buffed, And they're just able to utilize comps around the McCree, bursting down Trill, making his life so difficult on that Winston right now, not to mention the Pharah, of course. And at high range, McCree is more powerful than he was before at knocking things like a Mercy out of the sky, killing that Pharah, getting that long-range damage done. And that's how they played it, and they played it so well.
So that is one map choice from Australia out of the way. China able to get that victory. Two more chances really here for Australia to try to pick up the win. Maybe the Junkertown Escort has to be the staging ground for it. Not sure, but China are plowing forward. They want that first seed. Guys, we're not done yet. We're halfway through the series. More coming up right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are halfway through our series. China currently leading us 2-0. Australia still have not been able to pick up a win. The only win that they need if they want to punch their ticket to BlizzCon. Denmark frothing at the mouths, I'm sure, sitting in the back room, just hoping and praying that they see that 0-4 on the board right behind us at the end of all of this.
Yeah, and, you know, we're going to head to another map that's Australia's choice, so it feels like we're kind of heading through Australia's wheelhouse of, okay, this is our best map for hybrid, this is our best map for assault, and this is our best map for escort if, you know, they end up losing either, I already lost hybrid, but if they end up losing assault, then, you know, we're going to see where they do take us for escort. But we're kind of taking a trip through time for Australia as well, because we can look back and see the patterns they've shown us on a wide variety of maps so far. So we do have a substitution that is going to be Crystal substituting in here for Shy. So he will come in once again for this map. He is the better Genji player, and they haven't been running Genji so far, so you guys can kind of predict where we're heading for maps.
Yeah, which assault map is it gonna be? As far as I know, there's only 2. Because actually, have we seen any other ones? I think it's just kind of been this and Volskaya.
Yeah, that's it. It's this tournament anyways.
No Horizon.
No Horizon.
Yeah, no Hanamura.
No Hanamura.
All right. Well, Temple of Anubis, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're going to be seeing. I don't think we're going to have any of those Bastion Symmetra shenanigans that you and I saw at the beginning of the day, but you never know.
I don't think so. I'm feeling like, yeah, no, not gonna happen.
Yeah, more than likely, it's just not gonna occur.
So this is gonna be Australia's greatest test because they've looked fantastic on this map thus far in the Bangkok qualifier, and we've seen really nice dive from Huss and Trill again on the Winston Sombra to kill Zenyatta's in particular on this map on the defense. But China has been absolutely phenomenal at both dive on the defense, but also on the attack. And that's why Crystal has been subbed in on Assault most series. Obviously, against some of the weaker teams, they've left it up to a little bit more flexibility and I think just some more experience gaining for Shy. But in this case, it will be Crystal. They are going to have counter dive. They're going to leave the Widow Zenyatta completely out of this. Knowing that Australia's going to dive directly, they want to have that counter dive. They have the hack here with leave. The one thing I'm a little bit surprised at is they take Sombra over Brigitte in this case because, you know, it's very obvious that Australia will likely run this dive they've been running all tournament long. Australia also has the opportunity that once seeing this, try to run the Pharah. So there is definitely some counterplay as the attacker here once you scout the comp. Huss may, you know, give that information, and then they may swap, but I think that they'll at least attempt this for 1 or 2 pushes.
Well, CKM Genji versus Crystals. See who comes out on top. Australia opens things up for this first attack. Making their way around Huss. A bit of scouting and sightseeing. Cruising his way up, tries to open up, doesn't really have the best angle there. The pillar kind of blocking his sight line onto Sky.
Okay, they will swap to the Pharah as mentioned before. That's why Genji was staying in the spawn room until that confirmation came through. That's all that Huss needed to let them know. He's going to stay on the Sombra, it looks at least for now. Can be powerful with the Pharah, especially if you get a hack onto the Diva.
Oh, well. Just going to have a fight straight up here into the archway. Going to boot them back. The shield's going to be down. However, Drill will fall. Nice opening pick here for China on this defense. Very good look at the start, trying to go for the back cap. They almost get there, up 2/3 of the way to that first tick.
It's a testament, I think, of China's skill and how well they've been able to shut down Trill consistently. Really good focus fire, really good communication because he's been one of the better Winstons here in Bangkok. So I want to point out how well they've been playing around it. Here comes the pocketed Pharah again, just trying to build up a barrage while Huss tries to build up the EMP. That could be a very powerful combo. If utilized correctly, could just take the point straight up.
Not building up though. Dragon Blade set to go from Crystal. Takes a rocket to the face. He'll be all right.
He's fine. He's okay.
Holmes is going to go ahead, pocket him up. That Valkyrie is nearly ready. Spamming away. Australia really struggling. Trying to push themselves into the point, even getting the wraparound flank position. Now going to be jumping through with a nano boost off down onto Trill to build him up for that battle range. Blade's going to come down and Kraken, the first one to fall. Crystal looking for another target. Just going to have to settle for the mech there on the Diva. Gets one swipe in. Not going to be able to knock Punk out. But Sky gets rid of CKM. The ball comes in. Custa's going to go down.
Yep, Custa's down, and this is going to be another reset push. Huss still failing to get that EMP. Rez coming through here onto Gushui, who will just obviously come straight back to the point with a faster time than he would have if he had to respawn. But guaranteeing they will have a full lineup for the defense. A Kraken going to swap over to the Brigitte. He's had enough of Crystal farming the back line. Mostly been farming with left clicks. The guy's such an incredible Genji player. It's a treat to watch every time. Barrage is ready. Huss just has to keep up his end of the bargain. They can use Trill to set up the engage to get a good EMP. Essentially, they want to stop the Diva Matrix.
And the deflection from the Genji as well.
Yeah.
Would also be a nice one. EMP going to be coming down. Leave. Going to get eliminated here. A Kraken. Still going to be traded out. Barrage now dropped in. Lei Young has the defense matrix up and in from behind comes Crystal. Taking him down. Rez already going to be used onto the Brigitte. Gushui tries to make his way out of there, but will get taken down. Dragon Blade pulled out. Just going to get zapped to death. However, this is going to be an opening. A nice one at that for Australia to get in onto the point. About 5 minutes on the clock unless China can do anything to delay this further, but looks like they're just going to be kiting back a bit.
They had ult advantage. They utilized the EMP correctly, and CKM waited patiently for the best opportunity for Barrage. Not the greatest time bank on record, but it is fairly nice here for Australia. Crystal pulling the Dragon Blade there was hoping to get the kill to prevent the remake for Punk, and that might have actually given them a little bit more room to work with. But he ends up wasting the Dragon Blade essentially because he died right afterwards. He doesn't swap, not going to be trying to do anything crazy. No Brigida here still for China. And Australia, realizing this, moves away from the bar and puts CKM back onto the Genji. So more dive-oriented here.
Careful, leaves him behind them. He gets found out. A lot of damage. Trill does the same, drops off that high ground, keeping himself safe.
Trill just trying to build up some of his primal with this, just kind of farming at the moment.
Pushing forward here, Kraken wildly swinging as he pops that rally, offering up armor to everybody. Late Young gonna get taken down. Can they transition this in onto the point?
Yes, they
Get
can.
some ticks, if not the win. Huss going forward now at the moment. Punk here as well.
Hey, nice hack
down.
there.
The Mercy's gonna have to hit the ground. EMP ready to go. Toss that one immediately, but not before the Primal Rage does get triggered here by Gushway. So he is still gonna be very tanky and very much a threat. He threatens Crystal with a blade, comes out, gets rid of that Brigida, and now Punk. Australia don't get anything on this push. They suffer the loss of several ultimates, and now it's going to be probably a stagger here on the cusp.
This is such high-level play on both sides. Australia realizing that with that opening pick, they could commit to the fight. They had the rally there. Kraken's going to swap off with the Brigida now, but they had so many opportunities there, and Gushway is just one of these players who's so unkillable. I mean, he saw Huss for 1 millisecond. He was like, I'm prime on right now, because if I get hacked, they could take this whole point. He buys enough time for Crystal to come out. Leave now has the EMP. Just going to go back to spawn here to heal up.
Last ditch, destroy the translocator before he goes. CKM finds one. Has the Dragon Blade ready. Now Nano boosting up with it.
There's no Brigida. The best tool to shut this down is going to be a Sleep Dart.
EMC going to be coming out here from lane. Mid-push forward. Kraken's going to go down. Trade on the Honor. CKM finds one, but the bunch from Crystal just knocks him straight into the wall, and he will fall. No ticks gained here. Already Australia having their time bank basically cut in half.
It's so unfortunate because they were trying to Nano Blade, right? But a Kraken switched over to the Ana late, so he's only at 60% right now. And CKM had it early, but if they try to wait for the Nano Boost, they lose so much time. So after his Blade fails, he's now going to be swapping over the Brigida himself, trying to shut down what Crystal is doing on the Doom Fist. Really nice high ground position here for Crystal. He's going to look to just continuously build these shields as he drops off with his rising uppercuts and rocket punches.
One there on the Punk. Now he's on the low ground, isolated. And it looks like he's going to get taken out. Yep, loses that one. He will go ahead. Uses the self-destruct just to make it back in.
Yep. So that's a very expensive exchange, but Australia just wants the best time bank possible here. Not going to wait for a staggered Diva death. They'll have the time to do so. Crystal just continuing to get these picks, even if it's just a Diva mech. It's so valuable, gives him shields, and he has the ability to escape while killing someone with Meteor Strike if he's given that ult charge, and he does have 80% of that.
Very close here. Tuss sneaks around, sees all of them, just throws down the EMP as the rest of Australia piles in, trying to win the fight. Crystal going to be the first one to fall, delaying that Meteor Strike and getting rid of that pesky Doom Fist. The bump into the air, the Mercy now going to be falling. China suffering 2 losses, making 3 as Leave will also go down. They finally have an opening to make it onto the point. Try to build up some of these ticks. Halfway to the first one. As Lee trying to buy as much time as he possibly can. He's going to go ahead, dump that self-destruct. The Baby Diva, however, going to fall, and CKM not going to get caught up in the blast. One
Crystal's
tick
got
now
Meteor.
coming through. They're contesting again on the side. Sky looking in onto the back. The EMP comes in from Leave, and that's going to be the kills. Now swinging back into the favor of China. And all 3 supports going down. Punk manages just to get the Mercy, but that's about all she wrote here. 55 seconds remaining. Australia have realistically one more opportunity, and they are holding Punk hostage.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to self-destruct remech this time.
And he's got the mech ready, and now he's going to die.
Yep, they knew it too, because they had the hack there. And all they needed, it was actually unfortunate for Australia that Crystal was the first to die, as he had enough time to respawn. He was 80% of a Meteor Strike. That's all they realistically needed to hold there, get the kill onto a Kraken. He builds up so many shields, and it just becomes a nightmare from there to survive as Australia. They get the EMP. Now this is huge. They actually prevent him from translocating back. Yep. That's actually a nice
Good
little
opening.
pick.
The rally is here. CKM immediately popping that one will lead the charge in over onto the point. Swinging away. Huss finds Crystal. Sleeve swaps over onto the Reinhardt. Now the Mercy gone. No res available. Australia, can they convert this into a win? Huss is going to dump the EMP as they move over into the point. Second tick, very swiftly coming through. China have to make their way in. Sky now going to die. Leave, charges his way, finds the pin, and Kraken's going to fall.
Crystal's
Crystal
back.
now rejoining. Almost has that meteor strike. 10% away. Costa's going to die.
Crystal's got
not
the
finding
strike.
anything. Leave, taking a lot of damage, but he's going to get topped right back up. Nearly has the shatter. Meteor strike. Not going to find the kill, but the uppercut will. And they get damn close. But that's going to be the pin coming through. Trill will die. Unfortunately, does not look like Australia will be able to close this one out with a point B capture. China, they hold them off.
Another clinical showcasing here of how to run this defense, this stagger, playing around the Doomfist so well. Crystal being such a consistent dive player, being that he could run the Genji, counter dive there on A, then moving into the Doomfist on B, allows him to, because he's such a great player, get insta-picks, because that's what Doomfist does. He kills someone basically immediately with those left clicks. If there's no way, if there's no D-Matrix to stop his Knuckles from doing that damage, he's going to kill someone, and he's going to have shields, and he's going to build, not which is, and I know I keep repeating this, but I want to stress this point, his ultimate is both a execution ultimate, which will kill someone in almost every case, but also an escape. So you could do so much with that on a contest of point B. They played around him so well. Leaves, desperation swap onto the Reinhardt to then force his way into the point, getting that kill into a Kraken. That sealed the deal. This map's not over yet. China will, of course, have to deal with Australia's defensive setup here, which has been another great strength for them on Anubis with Huss's Widow. Very aggressively positioned he is most of the time. And, of course, hiding back, using grapple correctly. I think Huss is a very accurate Widowmaker player, but I think his understanding of how to bait out, you know, jumps from Winston's, cooldowns, etc., is one of the reasons why he's such a great Widow, because he pulls so many resources away. Widow is not just an aim hero. I think a lot of people think about Widowmaker as, okay, can they hit headshots? But there's a lot of intelligence that goes into where you grapple, where you place your mines, your traps. Very, very thought-provoking, I should say.
Yeah. There's a lot more depth to it, because you alone can be an attention grabber from the enemy team and then open up for a flank.
Yeah, the threat of the headshot is a powerful thing, not just the headshot alone.
Thought about it.
Yes. Well, Crystal's Genji is also a powerful thing, as we know, and they're going to try to get him around the side. Nice deflection here. If he can get around the side and harass, build a blade, and or knock them off of this treehouse position, it'd be very terrifying to deal with.
The bubble comes in. Crystal, he's going to spot out the trap.
Yep,
Say, guys, you know, don't go over there.
It's not the first time we've seen this in professional Overwatch, and not the first time in Bangkok either.
Us now. Nice angle on the late Young. Double tap into the base. It's going to be the pop onto the mech. And the dive comes in up top, and they had a trap ready to go. Gushue is going to get taken down.
Yeah, really nice
secondary preparation.
Yeah, really nice play here by CKM, just understanding where he needs to place those to prevent the dive. Well, this is really all about Crystal building a blade, and that's what China's operating around. Everything else is kind of secondary. And if he can get a single pick and get a dash reset, everything changes in that moment.
No one can hide.
Crystal's halfway there. You can feel, when you know your opponent hasn't gotten completion, you can feel like, okay, this isn't going perfectly for us, but we're building ultimates. We're doing what, you know, is called in Overwatch an eco push. And building that up.
Okay. Well, Rez coming out. He sees that. He knows that the Mercy's in there.
Yeah, he can't do anything about it, unfortunately.
Yep. John's coming through. Tagging him up where he can.
He's preventing.
Rez is down. He would love to have another one. Headshot on the Gushue. But as he flips over to the side, Leave is going to be able to pick up the kill. Gushue's still going to be falling all the same, so good prep work here for Huss. Not going to go to waste. Late Young now popped out of the mech. Spamming away with a pistol, trying to break Punk out. Will not be able to do so.
What's more impressive about that kill from Leave is that he was able to do it by the flanking, or like by flanking, because our Kraken had the Brigida barrier to protect him against the enemy Widow, and he was still able to find an angle. Doesn't end up letting them the point, but now Crystal has the Dragon Blade. It can be pocketed here by Eviltal.
Back over onto the other side here. Kraken going low. Blade still set. Gushue dead, however, so Crystal wants to wait. Clock still going to be draining down, and now another one. Huss been delivering so well here with these Widowmaker shots.
The Riptire is the reason why Crystal is holding onto this blade so significantly. And if he can actually, if they can bait that out somehow, that's when the blade's going to come out.
They want to break Late Young out of this mech.
Yeah, he's stuck. They also are tracking Crystal. Really nice defensive play here from Australia. They have so much information. about what China is doing. They will not be duped by this flank.
I mean, they're in such an awkward position here. Infrasight ready to go.
Yeah, this
Spot
is
'em
super
out.
weird. They're trying to bait the Riptire this way, I think.
There
It's not
is
gonna work.
and here it goes. We're still going to be eliminated. Good luck getting that res.
And this is almost checkmate, because as long as they hold the Riptire, the Blade can't do a ton for you.
Yep.
I mean, it will instantly kill. Even with the Transcends potentially coming out to try to get Crystal into a spot to massively, you know, do damage and get those opening kills, it's not going to be easy. Not to mention that there is a Brigida on the other side. Leave, if he can hack Junkrat somehow, I mean, we're really begging for things with that one.
Oh, dive up onto the side again. Gucci this time going to have that Primal Rage ready to go. Leaves going to be the first one to fall. Drop the tire in. Just going to get the break straight onto the mech here against Late Young. Now, Yveltal's going to get taken down. 40 seconds remaining. Australia, can they actually punch their ticket to BlizzCon off the back of a full hold on Temple of Anubis?
It will have to be, if it is not going to be the case, it will have to be off the back of Crystal's Blade. They have all the cards in their hand now. Okay.
Sneaking around.
Okay, this is everything right now. This Dragon Blade, whether it's a do or die for China, if they win this map, they go as first seed. So very important.
Yep.
They will have to win B, of course, after taking A, but A is the first step.
Reverse sweep is still possible. Australia very well could go in as the first seeded team if they can pull that off, that miracle run.
Has to
It's
be
3 seconds remaining.
this Blade. Late Young going to try to tag in.
They finally go ahead, contest the point. Keep the overtime rolling through. Dragon
Blade.
Blade's gonna be coming down. He gets booped back, dives in, stun, coming in. He's still alive, but now he will fall. Doesn't get anything with that Blade. Crystal gonna get taken down. CKM also gonna be eliminated. No res available. Australia is too concerned about that here at the moment. The Hulk dragging them all together as he tries to get line of sight in onto the Mercy. Instead, gonna have a sleep connect in onto Late Young. He'll get woken back up. Ushui goes low. He kind of way out. Has the pocket coming in. Now Sky's gonna be eliminated. Ushui still getting chipped away at as he tries to exit. Punk goes forward, lead in onto the point, but he's gonna get taken down. Punk finds the shot. Husk gets rid of Crystal, and they have done it. The Australians, they pick up their map win, and they are going to BlizzCon.
They are going to BlizzCon indeed. Look at how happy they are. It only took one map to do it. And it was a tough attack on B. It looked like it might be hopeless. We're talking about China here. Crystals, Genji, some of the best dive in the World Cup, and they make it happen. Really nice positioning there, knowing that Crystal would want to come through there, get a kill, get dash resets. They were in the choke, they had the rally out, and Brigida was there for the stun. But where there is happiness, there is also tragedy, as this map win will also deny Denmark from attending BlizzCon in 2018. Unfortunate, they were, defeated by Sweden in the massive upset just moments before.
Yeah.
And now, no doubt watching backstage in the player area are saddened by the full hold here of Australia. So this win means those two things. But as you mentioned earlier, we still have to decide first seed.
Yeah, there's more to play for here. You know,
Yes.
this isn't done yet. First seed still can be decided. China are still on the cusp of locking that in. They still just need that one more win. Try to close it out with the 3-1. Australia, congratulations. You move into second seed to BlizzCon. China really wants that first place, but Australia, now it's a bit of a momentum shift. Getting full held can really mess with your psyche, as you get ready to move forward through the rest of the series. China will have their map selection. However, we'll find out what that is going to be in just a moment. Something tells me it's not going to be Junkertown.
Yeah, Australia didn't lose that map, so they don't have map selection. It will be the Rialto, the more standard. And this has been the two sets we've seen Crystal on in particular. Remember, you can only sub during halftime.
Yeah.
So Crystal's in. You want to play a map that suits his strengths. So Rialto does make sense. But I completely agree with what you mentioned earlier about the momentum shift, because not only has Australia qualified BlizzCon, they did it through a full hold. The first team to really... I guess Thailand had a decent hold there on Anubis as well, but since Thailand, the first team to really shut Crystal down on Anubis,
yep.
And you got to feel fantastic about that. You know this player is a phenomenal Genji. You've been preparing for this moment. You've been stressed out about this matchup against China. Every team was going to this. Still, China's one win away from taking that first place spot, but you've done what you might have thought 2 days ago to be impossible. And you may wonder, is there anything we can't do now that we've done that? So as we head into this, it will be defense first for China.
And it looks like they might be taking a leaf out of the book of Finland and Sweden here.
Yeah. Scandinavian standoff.
Yep. going to be going for it, it would seem.
They also have this Widowmaker, which is really it's small adaptation to the spawn camp because you can kill a Pharah that's trying to escape. We know that Australia loves running the Pharah. CKM may just try to do that once they see this comp. You also can, if you hide and the rest of the team spills out trying to deal with the tanks, get those kills from behind the team of Australia moving forward. So it's not something we saw the Scandinavian teams run as much, but it's very powerful here.
So, yeah, just based on the posturing here, and with a Widowmaker, it seems like it's not going to be the spawn camp strategy. But as I say that, they start rounding the corner.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing more of the...
poking their way out. They're just trying to see what they have coming at them.
Yeah, just kind of hiding around this choke, just trying to control this corner. And Huss is already in the back, you know, harassing them. He's already identified everything, given so much vision, so much information to his team.
Inching this one forward. Hook going to come down there onto Punk. He goes low. His way up onto the high ground. Pocket coming through. Custa keeping him alive and getting plenty of charge over towards that Valkyrie in the meantime. Looking back, the Zarya bubble is there, so Custa Blast not going to be doing a whole lot of anything. Pile driver into the back. Huss dealing with Crystal, takes him down, opening up the fight.
He's been stalking him all game long, finally gets that kill.
Way going so dangerously low, but still staying alive here for the moment. Get bursted back up, not going to be going down. Crystal going to be swapping over to the Pharah.
Okay, kind of a rarer pick for him, but he's certainly known for it. Huss identifies.
He's going to get hacked.
Nearly falls into the water.
Yeah, he is so low here. Finally go ahead, heal him back up. He's going to be eyes focused on people, and he will get taken down. Wonderfully done here by Huss. Harassing the back line of China nearly with that EMP now.
Okay.
Pile driver comes in from Drill yet again.
Yeah, so much damage being done here by CKM, just inching them forward. The EMP barrage, if they hold that EMP, could be so powerful. They're using it now, though.
Yeah, just go ahead, dump it straight in onto the tanks. They try to burn them down. Punk in the meantime, however, will go ahead and lose down on that mech. Rez comes through, Drills back into the fight. Crystal as well will be put back into this mix. Barrage coming through. No one's looking at CKM. They're all looking at the hamster. He comes in, nano boost and all, takes them down.
Well played here by CKM, punishing that mistake from China, and that's going to cost them point A. Eviltal steps on here with Sky, but they're just going to have to be in the spawn room here. It's going to be a full reset.
Jumping into the canal at that point.
Yeah, and they're fed over a little bit of ult charge with that, unfortunately. We will see the swaps here, as Lee's not going to be running any further. Roadhog is going to be moving into Reinhardt Zarya with the Sombra. This is actually causing China a lot of lost time, this chase here by Australia. They still have max push on the cart with 3 members. Now 2, as Trill's going to go back and swap over to the Reinhardt, you would think.
Gets the door.
Actually, Winston.
Okay. Not going to be...
They want to keep running this Pharah to counter the goats instead of running it themselves, so they're not going to swap it.
He wants to do that, and Huss is just doing such a good job of harassing the back line that they want to be able to follow up with that Winston and Diva, perhaps. Yeah. So just try to run dive with Sombra. EMP coming through.
It's a bluff on Zarya.
Young, you are gone. Which way as well? Going to be going down. Rockets up into the sky. Pharmacy versus Pharmacy. The hack comes in. Crystal hits the ground. The rocket follows him straight through. CKM picks up that kill. China suffering with their own map pick of Rialto. As Australia just plows right through the streets.
Their dive is just so good, and it's dive with Pharah. You know, Pharah weakens the targets. Huss makes the call because he knows where everyone is, because he's constantly getting vision, not just through his passive, but just because he's such a sneaky player in general. And they make a call. EMP goes down. They know Late Young's in a vulnerable position, and it's just so coordinated. Now, one last contest here from China. They're probably going to have to pop this Shatter, but look at the position of China. There's not a good Shatter available.
They do have a multitude of ultimates here, but Leave is going to be the first one to fall. Graviton Surge on standby. Punk. Can he deny this one away with a Defense Matrix? It will be absolutely huge for his squad, securing this point B push. Hotel's going to go down. Barrage out from Crystal. Manages to find 2. Drill and CKM both going to be falling. Punk gets the heck out of dodge.
Well, Gouche gets to hold on to this Shatter for now. Just going to poke around the corner here using his third person from the barrier. Gain information as to where they're resetting. Are they running a Ryan? Are they staying with the Winston? Identifies it's the Winston. So they have a little bit of extra time here. And they do have the double Ryan Zarya ultimates. Australia's been doing such a good job of splitting positionally against these Shatters, though. He hasn't really had a good opportunity. It was the Barrage that saved them, not the Shatter that he still holds now. The Pharah is such a great counter to this, and the execution from Australia makes it so difficult for China to actually just play what's considered the most meta comp for the map. Look at the setup. It's so difficult to think, I can just shatter this. You cannot. Not easily.
Well, Australia have slowed things down a little bit. And Crystal slow them down even further, grinding them to a halt, at least for the moment. Rez will come out, just to put their Pharah back into the mix. Dive in, and thrown down onto Trill. Got Primal Rage now available. Tap it away. You can hear that Deadeye coming down. Managed to get rid of CKM. The Rez, I believe, is still going to be on cooldown. Flashbang in, Trill falling low. Goes to rejoin with the rest of the squad. And overall, 2-ult commit comes through, and Australia come up short.
They do come up short. It was really well played by China. This nice bio grenade there as well onto Trill, making his Primal Rage less effective. Huss was patient though. He's the information giver. He holds the EMP, and he's got a great angle now.
Oh, detected. Do they really
I don't know if they noticed him.
Oh, they're looking for him.
Leave blind flashbang.
They know that he's somewhere nearby, but they're not exactly sure where. Pump up into the air, throws that one down. Lee Young going to be focused out. The pocket's coming through, and he's going to be able to stay alive at least for a little bit longer.
He's
here.
so low. He's
Charge through the bubble comes in. They finally manage to take him down. Mirage out. However, Crystal will get rid of Trill. That's going to get everybody. A Kraken and Punk all going to be going down. Huss just bailing off the side. Australia, is this where they get halted? Is this as far as they can go on Rialto?
It may be, and it may be what cost them that first seed, the BlizzCon they've just obtained. But Australia, they have the swap now of Huss over to the Widow. They've been so frustrated for the first time, I think, in this entire group stage with an enemy Pharah, that they're going to try to change to Widow to deal with Crystal's Pharah. They're the ones who've been abusing the Pharah, you know, throughout this tournament, dealing with goats, countering it. CKM took the fantastic Pharah. For the first time, they're going to swap. Yushui holds this shatter.
Dive in, the bomb from Punk takes down 3. The Pharmacy Cup gone. The Zarya gone.
Over the wall, so well done. Just sending it right over his head. His positioning is where he's been standing. He's been staying there the entire time. You feel invincible as a Ryan sometimes like this, but they are able to send it over that barrier and take that kill there. So very, very well played by Team Australia.
And Raj nearly ready.
It almost feels like Crusade may never use this shatter.
Yeah, just keep on holding it.
They're going to push Australia back and try to fight over this choke. Even though they lost point B, they can still use this archway right here where they stand to prevent Australia from getting an easy route in. CKM's actually flanking around the backside. Does come back to front and center, as you guys can see here. But he's looking for an opportunity to barrage behind enemy lines.
Up over the top. Bit of damage in onto the Ana, but not going to be finding a kill. Taking it out with Crystal. Direct hit coming through.
Remember, China has no diva with this, so this barrage, if it gets behind a Reinhardt shield, can be devastating.
Oh, Crystal, while duking it out against CKM, just happens to take down Huss, and then gets the Pharah in the mix. The rest is going to be used. Drill gets pinned. He's in way too deep. Doesn't want to use the Primal Rage. Knows that they have one more chance to try to push this over the finish line. But look at the ultimates here for China. Nearly 6 online.
Yeah, Leave is just being such a threat. You know, Huss hasn't been able to get the same line of sight. As I say, Caster Curse, he does finally knock Crystal out for the first real pick that he's gotten on this Widow. He's looking for more.
Wang goes low.
Look at CKM, he's fine!
Yep, way in, Leaf goes slow. Gets healed back up, and CKM's not going to be getting anything. The Deadeye comes down, gets a bit of damage in onto Trill. Pocket coming through, and he's not going to make it back to the ground with his life intact. He will get punished. Now Custa is just skirting around like a moth trying to stay alive. Somebody's got to tag the point. They managed to work their way back over. It's Punk with the heal. Deadeye comes through. He gets bursted out of the mech, and that should just about be it. A very heroic attempt that we saw from Australia. They bought themselves a little bit more time, a little bit more distance. But now they have to have another immaculate defense against China if they want to extend this series and keep their first seed hopes alive.
Leave has just been showing what McCree is capable of all series long, and hitting those headshots obviously is something to I guess, you know, take awe at and look at it and be impressed by. But his positioning as well as his knowledge of where Huss is going to be on the Sombra, it's next level, you know, and these two teams playing around each other strategically so well ends up being cool. You see things like Gushui hold a shatter for forever because Australia's countered his composition, so it's not even ever going to be valuable basically, but he still holds the Rhine. Then you see, because he's been standing in the same place repeatedly, Punk launches the self-destruct over his barrier and just barely gets it behind him, ends up with a triple. Again, you always feel invulnerable in that moment.
Felt like an outfielder looking up at it. He's like, I got it, I got it.
Hits him
like,
smack in the head.
I'm going to get the catch, and then it just hits the ground, and, you know, Australia runs in 3 bases.
Yeah, well, Australia absolutely can do this. We've seen, again, what they're capable of on the defense. And, you know, Anubis, not the only map they're great at defending really well, and we've got almost so we've got some crazy Australia cheers, I think, in the crowd here, but China as well.
Yeah, answering back is China.
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement here for what may end up being one of our best series of this group stage. And China, this is a map where, sure, they can run the Crystal Pharah, and we saw how well he can play it previously on defense, but it's not really what they like to do. But I think they've been so shaken by CKM's Pharah here that they're trying to maybe perhaps match it, do something a little bit different. And that is, for the time being, what we're going to see. So sticking with this as they head out with Leave on the Widow. Lots of ways to shut down what Australia's most comfort bread and butter composition is here.
Oh, that's a great start.
A knockoff kill.
Off the side.
Yep.
Take a dip.
So great start here for Australia. As, you know, right now Leave is just looking for line of sight onto CKM. He just got it.
Oh.
And finished him off.
Yeah, has the double tap. Takes that far right out of the sky. Us trying to reposition. The res will come down. The bubble offered up just to protect Custom, making sure that he can go ahead and get him back into the fight. Duking it out. Not to the face. Crystal cutting his way back into the Winston, offering up extra damage as they try to kill him off. Somewhere Leave a lot of fire.
Yeah.
He's going to get killed.
I think Huss found him.
More than likely, but oh boy. That Ana damage coming through a Kraken. Taking him out.
And that's actually the only thing that Australia has that's really good against the Pharah is the Ana in terms of range. And so it's really important that a Kraken's able to make this happen. Leave, though, still a threat. Actually flanking a little bit here. Does back off. China's got this slow burning push coming through here.
Giving up some ground. Leave popping up over the top, looking for an angle. Still coming through. Nade having to be used on the drill.
There's a nano.
Low. Yes, have to pop that nano, trying to get the heal back in. Taking a lot of damage. Over, in, looking for Leave. Right swing to the side. Mirage comes down from CK. Yep, he claims the life of both DPS players here on the side of China. And now Gushue way too far forward. That bubble coming through, but it's not going to last him too long. Is trying to just skirt his way around, trying to go for that res, but instead, he's going to have to float up into the sky with a Valkyrie and then eventually
The Zarya
either
bubble
get out of
keeps him
there, or
alive.
he's either going to get out of there and just burn the ultimate, or he's going to die. Seems like it's going to be the former.
Huss holds onto this EMP now, though, so even though China has this regroup and they have the cart pushed to a point where they could use the shatter and the grab on the archway, which is exactly what you want to do, Huss can ruin everything in one instant with a well-placed EMP. So just waiting to find out where Gushue is going to approach. Look at this vision that Australia has at the moment.
Moved off the top here. His drill, EMP now coming down late. Young going to be the target. Falls slow. They heal him back up the nano. Going to be tossed in onto that Zarya to keep him sustained, and he finds plenty of kills here. China, with that team wipe coming through, will be able to lock down this point A.
And once again, Huss will feel the need to swap over to Widow to deal with the enemy Pharah. We have Widow Pharah on both sides.
Sleep on the punk.
Yeah, very
Making
impressive.
sure, no chance.
Crystal does get a little bit ahead of himself and does get taken out here, but it'll be traded back by Leave, who is flanking. This is going to be a fight over this res, actually. Shatter position is great.
Oh, gets whipped up, he flips to the side, and it's just got a whip. Throws that one straight into the desk. He had a bad time with the concierge earlier, it would seem. But not going to be getting too much.
Ooh, knocked off.
He's on the boat. He gets the boat. Oh, the boat's the MVP.
Does anyone else think there's too much RNG on this map? I don't know if that's fair.
What if we replace the boats with launch pads, Wolf?
Oh, man.
Oh, dear.
You stand on the boat, you like get heal denied, though, like a bio grenade.
Oh, man. Doesn't find the shot. Onto the Mercy.
Well,
the heartbreaker there.
The cart is still rolling as they have control of this right now, as Huss is trying to win this sniper war, but he doesn't have good line of sight. He's going to go for the flank instead, it appears. Around the backside here, this can be very effective if you're unseen.
Looking for an angle. So far, I believe he's undetected. Oh, pinned into the back, though. Trill going for a ride. He's going back to the start of the map. That's to try to stay in the mix here.
Leave finds him. Huss, by the way, does get taken out. Trill is still on the wrong side of the map, so rejoining his team is going to be a near impossibility. Seal denied here. He's going to go down. This is a free push for China and free ult charge for the contest. It's a big mistake from Australia. They had the risky flank from Huss, and then Trill dove in. One of the rare moments where they'll actually be, you know, a little bit on different pages, this squad that's so good at coordination.
Yeah, they got to catch him now. They got to stop this cart and try to gain control. There's Australia, because after that, with the time pump coming through, it's going to be that much more difficult to try to hold them. That one final choke really is trying to drain down the clock. Stuck going to be tossed in. Pump not going to be finding anything, but Huss gets Crystal. Mirage coming out from CKM. He gets pocketed up. find Ushuaï taking him out, flip to the side, leave, also eliminated. And as I said, this was the moment.
Sure.
They get control.
Yeah.
For how long is the
Exactly.
question? Look at the war chest here from China.
That was the antithesis of a ult-efficient hold. I mean, they had to use everything.
Okay.
That's a great
More time
stagger.
buys.
Buy in about 30 seconds or so with this, realistically, as China has to stagger back. And Ushuaï is
barrier
going to
up.
lose his barrier, yeah. Rez is forced by so much time. But the scary thing is, as you mentioned, the war chest. And Leave, if he is able to find line of sight on CCAM, push him away, and then give, line of sight on the Husk, push him away and give Crystal an opportunity for barrage, he can set up so many things. Nano means Ushuaï's positioning is whatever he wants to set up a shatter. Good split here, though, for Australia. He doesn't have a good angle yet.
Getting chunked out, Nano going to be coming down in onto Trill. The bubble thrown in. Dissuading that Earthshatter, but now tosses it down. Not sure how many other people he caught, but it was the Winston. And he is going to fall. Husk manages to get rid of Crystal as he pops that barrage. Follows up here from CKM on to the Mercy. Eliminating him, and Custom has the res, putting the Winston back into the mix. So still holding onto this cart is Australia with 55 seconds remaining. Wolf, can they pull off this hold? Can they force us to a game 5?
It looks like it so far. China's forced to put Crystal onto a Hanzo here.
All these staggers.
They're so desperate for the grab Dragon Strike combo that they're going to run this. And he got staggered again.
Another one.
And they keep killing Evil Tall.
Another one!
They keep killing Evil Tall to prevent these reses as well. Husk is just on fire right now. They don't have time to build a Dragon Strike for Crystal anymore. There's never going to be another Shatter. So Ushuaï is going to have to switch over to Winston. As you can see, he does. Crystal onto the Genji. But they got to get on this point right now.
The young chunk down. They can get rid of him. Take him out of the fight.
Evil Tall on the target. He's so low.
He goes so low. Pocket it back up. They keep him alive. Pops the Valkyrie. Drill hovering on the bridge at the moment. 4% now away from that primal range. Jumps his way through. Crystal getting zapped to death. Falls low. Pocket comes in. Manages to stay alive.
Nano
up in the sky. Throwing down the rockets.
Grab
dive in onto the point. Drill just spamming around, swinging wildly with that primal range pop. The grab not locking down anybody else. Pump getting pocketed back.
He's
up.
sticking
Sky
on
is
this
gonna
point.
Be dead. Crystal down to half. Ushuaï the same. That's the Mercy gone. There's no support. The Diva Bomb comes down. Not gonna find a pick, but Punk makes it back into the mix here.
Crystal still
Ushuaï
alive.
has no HP, just a sliver of it remaining on this Winston, on absolutely everybody who's trying to stop this card to get it pushing, but they can't do it. Australia, they hold them off. We're going to game 5.
We are going to a game 5. This final map will decide who gets first seed from the Bangkok qualifiers here in Thailand. Such calm, collected faces here of the Australian players on the stage. It's their fans who are the direct opposite. The fans will show the emotion for them, as this is something that going to this group stage, most people would have never expected to occur. And look at this crowd. This is, by the way, Australians traveling to Thailand. That's how passionate they are.
Absolute insanity in this series, in the crowd as they go wild. Australia trying to pull off the reverse sweep to gain the first seed out of Bangkok into BlizzCon.
It's a lot of discussion here.
What a story this is turning into.
Yeah.
And even if they don't get this, even if this is still going to be China winning it with a 3-2, they advance in first seed, this is still such a great storyline for Australia, encouraging for the fans watching, for the team as they get ready to go into the World Cup, you know, the top 8 in Anaheim. Absolutely crazy performance these guys are putting on right now.
There's just a lot of discussion here to be made, I think, online about individual players going to Overwatch League, for example, showcasing their performances. But to me, I think the biggest standout for Australia, again, throughout this entire group stage is preparation and execution of strategy.
Yep.
They are just so coordinated. This unit right here.
Here we go, guys. The final map of this series. This one's for all the marbles.
This
Lijiang Tower.
This set of 6 players might just do it. They might be the only people who could get that reverse sweep. And, you know, Thailand was so close, but they were too far to get it there in the end. And what has been so far I'd say by far our most close competitive group stage here for the Overwatch World Cup in 2018. When we were on the pole, very, very many maps ago, 3 maps ago, we were on the pole. When it ended, we were praising the McCree play for China. It was by Leave and Shy, both of them swapping over to that hero. Crystal's in the booth now, or on stage, I should say. Sorry, my old Apex habits coming through. But Crystal's on stage now. He's the one who's locked in the McCree. We know China operates around the McCree so well, bursting down Trill, bursting down CCAM's Pharah. Will Australia change it up, or are they just going to play better here, or at least attempt to eliminate this McCree? That's the big question we have.
Well, right now they're not changing up the comp. Still going to be seeing Huss on that Sombra with CKM coming out on the Pharah. As we move into Gardens, maybe we'll get to see more of Huss's Widowmaker, which has just been so great to watch.
Great angle here, actually threading the needle with these rockets.
Yeah, just trying to layer him in there. Unfortunately, not getting too many connections. Swings coming down. Trill falling low, will be eliminated. Let Young hounds him down, and Custis going to fall as well.
Oh man. Crystal, how many heroes can he play at the highest level? Fist bumps the fans there with the melee attack. Full control to China now. So difficult to dive this, so difficult to approach the Pharah, and they will not do it. They will max the McCree now and run CKM on this Brigitte. So they're down on ultimates. It's a tough call to make, but they're making it quickly. But still, it's going to be difficult for Trill to be relevant against this much burst damage, especially with the increased fall-off damage.
This is the restraint that we saw lacking from a lot of other teams.
Oh, he lives!
He lives. I think 34 HP was the number that I saw. But yeah, this willingness to go ahead, sacrifice whatever ult charge you had because you need to get on this soon to match is great to see from Australia, even if it's not working out so far. You get the res back onto Huss. Deadeye coming down from Crystal, and it's a triple kill! He just shuts them all down. He says, there's only room for one McCree here on this map, and it's gonna be me.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Triple there, so well played, timed out to wait for Punk's defense matrix to fade away. And again, I mentioned this once before, I will say it again. McCree, since the beginning of competitive Overwatch in China, has been a staple hero. So almost every DPS player in the region plays him at a high level. Undead's the first famous one for that. But now we've got Crystal here, and he's just dominating the playing field. Trill's going to have to primal here if he can live.
Huss finds an opening. Crystal going to be going down with the res there instantly. They put him back into the fight. Huss nearly with a Deadeye pushing forward. Pot shots over at the Winston. Bushway jumps up, back down, rejoining with the squad. The Primal Rain's going to get popped by Trill. Dumping the bomb is late Young. Throwing out that self-destruct, looking for a pick. Not going to be finding anything this time. Huss uses his own Deadeye, finds only one target, but it's going to be Crystal. Still going to be pretty happy about that one. Flashbang down, looking for the shots on the lead, but will not be able to find them. And Australia still pushed off of the point. China maintains control.
Yep, they certainly do. They're going to have to commit to one more fight, but they don't have support ultimates. The longer fight will be theirs if they could build that transcendence. Not going to be easy to stun.
Shield Bash comes in, the bubble going to be dropped. Young going to get burned out of the mech. Gushway dangerously low. Has to leap out. Flip comes through. Australia finally gained control here. Not going to be going down 100-0 as they keep zapping out. Leave cornered in. Trill gives him a final punch, sends him back to the dropship.
Okay, so they have Huss with a Deadeye, and they have the Primal available. This is a really nice setup for Australia to hold this point if Huss can do that burst damage. He needs to be well protected, though. He needs to be mostly the target of the armor packs coming through from CKM. The Kraken already has his armor, plus shields, plus Custa has the rally still withstanding, so all the armor should be focused onto Huss right now. He can burst down Gushway if he can hit those headshots and if the Discord orbs are true. Let's see, here comes the dive from Gushway. Deadeye.
Deadeye coming out from Huss here. No one really mitigating.
Just a
Tries
delay.
to go for that poke. Not going to be getting anything.
Still very
Building up
significant
for
delay.
him. Yep, buys them time, buys them percentage. Drill in the corner, going low. Push forward, coming out. He's going to pop the Primal Rain. Aggressive against China. Sun comes in, however, they lock him up and they melt him down. Now Crystal with the Deadeye of his own, tosses that one out. The kill from Lei Young. Two of them coming in off the back of the bomb. CKM and a Kraken both going to be going down. And this is going to be looking like a wipe onto the side of Australia as China gets ready to regain control. They'll tag back in, delaying it just a little bit more. Pile driver out from Trill, but doesn't even get the shield. He gets melted down. OT going to be taken away. Not sure if they can tag in to stop this. And even then, getting the capture back would have been very hard pressed for Australia. But China, they start things off on Lijiang with a win.
China, energy offered here from the fans. They are just one control point away from taking that first seed from this very competitive qualifier. But Australia fought hard to get it. They're not going to give it up that easily. As we move into Control Tower, we'll see how this matchup does sort of fall into place. But it's been on the back of McCree from 3 different Chinese players. You could feel the flavor of the region as well in this final series that has given them so much success. We will see standard, as common as it gets, Goats, with the on the variation here from China. Australia, this is the one map of these three, they could really run the Bara as an answering comp. So good matchup here for Australia. They have to make it work, or China is number one in this group.
You stole it from me. All right. I had that one in my back pocket, but it's fine. You can go ahead and get out of the way. You'll do the haha spam in the chat for once. It's normally that receives that. Crystal looking for a target. Somebody pushing around the sides. They pushing up through main here. Move back, they separate, sway away. Follow up to try to get a kill onto that Reinhardt. He's dipping away outside, leave, taking some hits from above. Cam's layering in these rockets, takes a little bit of damage. A smattering of it, now a lot of it. They jump on and Sky has the final strike to go ahead and knock him right out of the sky.
Okay, Gushui doing so much damage here as well. This is going to be China controlling the first flip. And approaching with Bara, once this has been controlled, where you have an ult deficit, is so difficult. CKM may have to make a tough choice now as he is caught here and stunned. Getting through this choke point with the Bara, not really reasonable even. So he may actually have to swap over to Brigitte to try to burst his way through. He's holding it for now, hoping for the best. But Shatter is going to be the first ultimate China uses to control this choke. You can see, I mean, there's just no other really way to play around this. You're going to have to take a bad fight sooner than later, otherwise you're giving China too much control meter. Sneaks around the backside here, but he can't control the point alone. He does force China to react.
Yeah, CKM and Huss both just harassing Late Young, but he can just get those heals coming in from the back. From the Ana. And it's actually going to be tossed in onto him.
You get that
trying to deal with this issue. Now Sky going to be all on his lonesome. One rocket, Late Young barely taking any damage with that nano boost still up. CKM falling low. Pocket coming back through from Custom, helping to keep him alive. The EMP now going to be dumped in. Rush comes down, looking for the hit. Managed to find one. The Sleep Dart comes through. CKM, can he make it back up into the sky with his life intact? The answer is going to be yes. The pin comes out from Gushui, takes down Trill. Go ahead to get rid of that Reinhardt. Rez coming back in. Winston's into the mix. Australia operating as 5-man there. As Haas will get taken down. Look, still not coming through. Nearly 70%. The barrier is going to be committed here from China. Groundhog Search now coming in. The tank's going to be locked up, and the bigger bang will come through as Late Young knocks Punk out of the mech. They follow up Australia, just dropping like flies left and right here.
Crazy good crisis management from China, using the nano boost there to buy time on the point, not letting the tanks in. Only the Pharah is in there. So well played by China, such good crisis management, and they've practically done it now. That was all they needed to do to hold this. There's one fight left for Australia. Trill backdooring the point currently, he has Primal.
Now a Kraken's going to be going down CKM with the swap over onto the Genji. He's not tanky enough, and they know exactly what Trill is up to. They try to boop him off of the point here. They spam it away. Primal Rage going to be coming down.
A kill on the Sky.
Finds one. Sky going to be going down to that self-destruct. However, goes in with a pin, finds Costa, taking him out of the fight. Now no speed boost. CKM desperately swapping over onto that Doomfist, trying to turn this fight around. Several members dangerously low. The punch comes in. The Reinhardt's going to fall. And leave us out of the fight as he has to kind of way back and get some healing coming through.
Late Young still alive
the back. That big slam comes through. It's going to be the self-destruct up into the air. He's had some great ones so far, and he's still going to be able to find CKM, but he can't make it back to the mech. Trill is there to confirm the kill onto the Baby Diva. Cap starting to come in. Australia halfway there. Another grab coming down. Trill and Punk locked in again. They managed to survive for the moment, but Punk's suit is dangerously low.
Shatter's
and will
up.
get popped. Shatter ready to bubble in the way. Fire strike to the face, and China have done it. They are number one, as you say. They punched their ticket to BlizzCon earlier today, but now they know that they will be going to Anaheim as the first seed team out of the Bangkok qualifier.
Absolute madness. The series was phenomenal, and the crisis management we saw against the backdoor attempts there, the hold of the choke, using Nano Boost with its new burst heal to make sure that Late Young could survive. Not to mention trading up in ultimates in that last fight. China deserves this win. They win the final map in spectacular fashion, dominant fashion. And again, it does, remind you that McCree is very, very powerful, and it's when put in the hands of players who've been playing McCree since the beginning of their storied careers, they're going to do well with it. And on Control in particular, they certainly did. 3 different players running that hero, Leave Shy and Crystal there at the end. And this team had intelligent, roster swaps, substitutions, I should say, throughout this tournament as well. But boy, did Australia give them a run for their money.
They got so close. It went from just, please, can we win one map to, hey, maybe we reverse sweep this and get the first seed. Absolute insanity, and I'm really, through this series, I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of fans of Denmark watching from home are going to be upset that they don't get to see their team representing them at BlizzCon, but I think that Australia really did prove that they deserve that spot with this run that they nearly pulled off, almost that reverse sweep. Unfortunately, falling short at the finish line there on Lijiang Tower, but China, they got it. They locked it in. First seed coming out of Bangkok. Absolutely stellar, and congratulations to them and both of these teams advancing, because it's just, it's been a really breakneck pace set here in Bangkok. A lot of back and forth coming through, a lot of really scrappy games.
Well, I believe we have Crystal on stage for an interview with Zoe, so Zoe, take it away.
Do indeed. Thank you so much, guys. Crystal from Team China joining me for an interview. Please give it up for him and his team. This match went all the distance. It went all the way into map number 5, and it's been a wonderful match to actually watch on this very stage. You managed to get that first seed, so I have to ask, how important is it for you and your team to grab that first slot?
对，就是恭喜一下，这次以全胜的姿态，能够以小组头名头号种子进入到暴雪嘉年华的比赛。请问夺得小组头名头号种子，对于你们的队伍来说意味着什么？
意味着我们可以避开其他国家的一些强队，小组的第一，然后我们就可以打一些比较简单的。
Yeah, obviously we're happy with the results. We get to avoid some of the stronger teams who are also, number 1 seeds from the other group stages, and we gonna play some of the weaker opponents at the first round at BlizzCon.
All right, that means you can warm up to them in order to get to those finals. We wish you and your team the best of luck. Now it's time to celebrate and also, of course, to relax a little bit after this intense group stage. Once again, congratulations to you and the team. We're now heading over to Mika, who's standing by with Costa from Team Australia.
Thanks, Zoe. Yes, as you said, we have Costa here from Team Australia. You guys did it. You got the maps that you needed. You are going to BlizzCon. How are you feeling? Are you going to celebrate, or is it right back to the grind?
Yeah, the team's really excited about the match. Big shout outs to Sweden for really pulling us across. We were scared. China's an incredibly good team. It was always going to be a hard win, but when we knew we only had to win one map, we knew we could take it.
Absolutely, and I know your voice is a little shot right now, but for all the Aussies in the audience right now, would you lead them in another round of your famous chant?
Sure. There might be a voice crack somewhere in the middle here, so work with me. Are you ready? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Thanks, guys. Thank you to the Aussies. Thank you to Costa. Thank you to everyone for being here. And now we're going to throw it back to Wolf and Achilles to break down all of the awesome action that we saw.
Thank you very much, Mika. Good to hear from Costa, and good to see that he's powering through the chant, even though his voice is weakened just a little bit. I know how it feels, man. That contender season final.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we went to karaoke after that. That was an interesting
As
night.
long as Costa avoids the karaoke, he should have his voice back for BlizzCon.
Yeah,
no
I would highly
problem.
suggest don't do karaoke while your voice is in that state. But man, what a series. The Aussies out in the crowd can, still be very proud of this performance. They know that they're going to BlizzCon. Now the question is, are we going to be seeing those guys in the front row at BlizzCon as well?
Well, we'll have to wait.
Hope you
And
fight. It's worth it now. But I hope you get a badge, because those things are, they sell out.
They're tough,
they
man.
Sell very quickly.
Maybe they already got their badges. That's sort of like, well, I hope Australia's there.
Yeah, please.
Get some more value on my BlizzCon. But yeah, it was a really amazing series, and I think that Australia really showed their flavor throughout this entire event. But there were so many teams, and I'm not going to name names, but some of the weaker teams at this group, I think that weren't able to show adaptability when their comfort wasn't working. And I think that Australia was able to show that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They were very willing to say, this is not going to work against what China is running. We have to use Plan B.
Yep.
And Plan B worked a lot of the time. They were willing to do that. They were always prepared to do that. Their preparation and execution at this event was phenomenal. And I think a lot of people think this is a massive upset that Australia gets out. And, I think a lot of people didn't expect them to do this well, especially against China, given how the group went. But when you look at how they prepared, it's not really a mystery. This is just what hard work and good execution will lead to.
Yeah. Well, this has been a long series here. We've been talking about it for a while. Let's go ahead and see what you guys at home have been saying on Twitter as we take a look at the fan polls brought to you by Team Mobile. The drama is worth staying up for 4:30 a.m. where I am, and no regrets.
No regrets indeed for that series. Very intense one. You got I mean, if you're tired in the morning, you're going to be thinking, but it's so worth it.
I mean, I imagine that the rest of Twitter, Reddit, and all that is going to be just full of comments saying like, "Oh my God, if you missed this game, go watch it. Go watch the VOD. Here's the link. It's amazing."
The people who went to sleep, who missed it, they're going to be the ones with regrets.
Exactly.
They're going to be the ones having
those fools.
that second thought.
We'll take a look at another one. Someone put a packet of Tim Tams on the payloads, and Team Australia will remember to contest it. Oh boy.
You know, there's probably some Australians out there that don't love Tim Tams, but
true.
I haven't met any.
They're pretty tasty.
They're pretty good. I'm not Australian, but I love it. I'll wear the Australian flag behind me on this one for Tim Tams.
He's shilling for Tim Tams.
Shilling for Tim Tams.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we did it, boys. Koalas are on the high grounds. Yeah. Well, in the end, the Koalas qualified for BlizzCon, but it was going to be the Pandas that came out on top. So we know who wins in the wild if there was ever a fight.
Sure, and that was kind of the story that Mika put off at the beginning of this series to introduce the teams, but we have both Bears.
I'm sorry, production just whispered in my ear and they said qualified. I can't bring myself to say that, but thank you so much.
Oh my God, okay. So I was just going to say both Bears are in, all right? Koalas and Pandas.
They made it.
It was
secured.
and unfortunately for Denmark, they barely didn't make the cut.
Yeah, boo as well. Production is booing Wolf. I'm booing Wolf, but man, I mean, it feels like that would be, a place to end after that insane series that felt, kind of like a final. But we're not done yet. We still have another game coming up, Wolf. But first, I'll take a look at the highlights coming up. Let's go ahead and relive this series because it's absolute insanity.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about the first thing we're going to talk about here is going to be the absolutely phenomenal control of the Paul from McCree. Shy as well when swapping over to the Widow on Village. We did see Huss try to retake here, and they had this one really early swap and grab of the point, but it didn't last long. Then it was Leaves McCree here as we moved into the final leg, where they just Trill couldn't make an impact because he was constantly being beat up. Moving into King's Row, there was some hope for Australia at the end when China unfortunately had, what people refer to in the community as a C9. I said it.
Oh,
we're done with the series.
Dirty phrase.
But they stepped off the point, so Australia had an opportunity for completion, but they got held hard on the street space. They were not able to even really get towards B, so kind of just showcasing some of their skills and delays again with the McCree. And it's just McCree is the big storyline here. It's something that people are going to have to be prepared for when they face China in BlizzCon because 3 of their DPS players can play it fantastically.
Yeah, I've been wanting to talk about how good Yushui was at staying alive, but almost in every single one of these clips, it's of him dying. So finally, a bit of a moment where I could kind of mention that, but we talked about it on the cast. He has been absolutely stellar throughout this weekend, throughout this series. A very solid foundation for Team China as they get ready to move into BlizzCon, and I think that if you're another team, one of the teams who's already qualified, one of the teams who's going to be playing at the France stop, you got to be taking a look at this guy and be worried about your own play and how you're going to shape up against him.
Yeah, I mean, the guy just will survive through almost anything. We can remember his walk around to survive on the Reinhardt earlier while hacked twice. And CKM just running the Pharah here, and eventually he was matched by Crystal here, which is the first time we really saw that out of Crystal at this event. Oh, this was just over the back. Bam! Yep.
Just knocked it right out of the park with that one. 3 swiftly as Leaf just casually walks up and just double taps them.
So many flanks from this guy on the McCree.
So many McCree players on Team China.
Yep.
Like we had Chai, Crystal, and Leaf all play it to a T. It was absolutely incredible to see.
Plus having some great moments throughout this tournament. I really want to highlight his Sombra. So good at giving so much information vision. Here's the triple we saw on Li Zhang. But Huss has been one of the staples of why I think why Australia is finding so much coordinated dive, finding so much success, and are able to, roam around and find success. Yes, as you mentioned, very different teams. I don't know why I said Shanghai there. Australia's won several series. There's a 2 there.
You got China on the mind.
So.
It's okay.
Anyway, very impressive stuff from Huss, and I wish him and especially Punk all the best moving into BlizzCon.
Yeah. Absolutely sell from them. But guys, that's it from Wolf and I. Like I said before, we've got one more series coming up. Spain versus Thailand. Only one of these teams can walk away without any wins.
That's
So
right.
that's what we're determining here with this one. It should be a fun one. We got Mickey going up against Harry Hook, you know, longtime buddies. So really excited to see how they're going to go up against each other. So don't go anywhere. We're back in just a few minutes.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup, and by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.